11 to 12 on the line the last 2 minutes of the game. Is that like a sign, so to speak, of this team learning how to win?
I'm not going to go that far. You saw some of the inbound situations, in-line, out-of-bounds stuff. But we're getting the confidence to go to the line, and we want to be there. Guys wanted to be there, and they made their shots, which is great. It's great for us. We need to feel that. We needed to do that. We're up 7, and then we need to make it a free throw shooting contest, and we need to get it done. And they did a real good job of finishing the game, as far as the free throw line is concerned.
Coach, kind of the next step. You won some games of being able to keep control of games where you get a 10-point lead and you kind of maintain that. It seemed like they, the inbounds and some of the offensive.
Purdue plays really, really hard, and we all know that. They're very physical. They're very tough. They're well coached. There's no way. You knew they were going to come back. You knew they were going to do something because they got too much fight in them. We just got to do a better job. I think Purdue made us do some of the things we did. They took us away from calming down and just getting to our spots and our pressure offense and knowing what to do. And we ran out of bounds when we weren't supposed to. We had a guy taking the ball out of bounds when he's never taken the ball out of bounds the entire year. And it might be Purdue, a little bit of what Purdue was doing, and they're tough, they're physical. They started really rebounding the ball the last couple of minutes there, so let's give them their credit. But with a 10-point lead, you got to start putting teams away and get yourself to the foul line and really starting to execute along with getting stops.
Coach, talk about the momentum, 3 games in a row, what it does for the heads of these players and the confidence.
Look, we were 0-6 a couple of weeks ago. What these kids have done to turn this around is just kept working, kept digging, kept getting better, and they really just bought into what we're doing and each other. That's what it looks like. They're really playing for each other. So we got a good bunch. We got good heads. We're in uncharted waters right now because we haven't won 3 games in a long time. So it's going to be interesting to see how they react and how we come back to work tomorrow.
Talk about the conference too, just the toughness, top to bottom. There's no easy games, and you never know what's going to happen.
As a coach, you prepare, and it's going to come down to end game situations, and you try to work on that in practice all the time. This league is an absolute bear with the players, with the coaching, how hard everybody plays. It's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me say that, but it can be taxing on these players, and hopefully we got that early part of the season out of the way.
You're starting to see some of the numbers that you had in the non-conference schedule on the offensive side. 2 baskets away from 5 guys in double figures. Do you feel like that cohesion that you've had in the latter third of each season is starting to get here and better than it was at the beginning of the year?
Yeah. Again, I'll go back to Jordan and John Johnson. We put them in mid-season. So that kind of, we had to get used to them playing. I think you see the cohesion now. Everybody knows what Jordan's going to do. Everybody knows what John Johnson's going to do. Now I inserted Graham into the starting lineup to just give you another 3-point option out there to do little things to help you out and relieve Tim and DJ. I think you're starting to see these guys start really, again, to come together. It's a different team, though. It's not the same team that we were in the non-conference.
It seems
Can you
small.
assess the impact that the length of a player like Jordan Dickerson adds for you, even if it might not show up highly on the stat sheet?
He hides your mistakes. He hides the blow-bys by the guards, and he cleans up a lot of stuff for us. It's unfortunate he was in foul trouble today because I'll tell you what, at 7:30 this morning, he was ready to go. He was ready to go. He was fired up, couldn't wait to get back out there. He knew Hammond's got him in foul trouble the first time, so he was excited to play today. But he does, Ohio State game, this game, he really helps you out. He had a huge block. The momentum was changing into their favor, and he gets a huge block, and we bring it back down. And Jack, let's give Jack his due too. He had some great blocks as well. Jeff.
When you have Graham in the starting lineup, even though he's not playing 35 minutes, he's playing more minutes by that many. Does that change sort of the roles for everybody else? Who comes off the bench when, and how you shuffle guys around? Has that been a bigger?
Yeah, I think, I don't know what you guys think, but I think our rotation looks pretty good right now. I'd like to get Gino Thorpe a couple more minutes, but our rotation looks good. And everybody knows what they're doing when they come off the bench. JJ, Ross, JD. Those guys could easily start. But right now we're going to go with this group. They're playing really well together, and the rotation, everybody seems to be, really have a good understanding of what they're doing.
Pat, is it easier to address some of the issues that come up, like the inbounds and maybe the offensive rebounding for Purdue in the second half, after you win games? Because there's also a lot of positive to talk about to balance it.
Even when we were losing, though, Mark, I would still, magnify the positives. And I think that's important for them to understand. Look, you did it here. You did it. You executed. But you didn't do it here. So just to show them the difference. I don't know if you can stay negative and always be negative, 75% of the time. I think that wears on a team. So we'll go back, we'll watch the film, we'll watch together, we'll see how we can get better, make sure we're in the right spots, and make sure we understand what the rules are. We need to know the rules sometimes, too.
This is almost obvious, but how much easier is it for you guys to play with that 10-point lead in the second half rather than that kind of, they're up 4, you're up 4, and then you go on a run?
Obviously, it's better because you're in position, and especially you got to the one-on-one so quickly in the second half, you can get yourself to the foul line. You know what? These kids are playing it with such great confidence and clear head right now that I don't know if it would matter if it was up 4, down 4, up 10, down 10. Obviously, we'd rather be up 10, but they believe in themselves and they have faith in one another, and they just want to go out there and compete and get better. If that is our mantra, compete and get better, you're going to put yourselves in a great situation to win a lot of games.
Since that last Purdue game, as coaches, have you guys done something different? Have you changed some things, your approach with this team?
And that Purdue game was devastating, I got to tell you. Let's go back to that because I give these kids a lot of credit for staying the course because it could have gotten really ugly. It could have been a perfect storm. And they just kept plugging away. We stayed positive, and we looked at our mistakes and look what we need to do a better job. Instead of looking at the end of the game situations, we looked at 17 offensive rebounds. In the media and out there, everybody's going to look at, you gave up 7, you fouled at the end of the play, you didn't get 2 really good shots, those end of game plays. I look at, over the course of a game, 17 offensive rebounds. What, they scored like 19 points off of that? That was the game. But it's unfortunate end of game situations get magnified. Anything else?